Hi everyone, this is Balazs from Racing Brick. Now it's time to take a look at the 2024 LEGO Technic Space playsets, and the first one is the 42181 VTOL Heavy Cargo Spaceship LT-81. You could already see these on the channel when I did an interview with two Technic designers where they introduced the sets and their features, but now it's time to take a closer look at the building experience too. There's one thing to clarify from that video. Although this set was presented by Lee Makpili during the interview, the designer is Uwe Wabra. Lee designed the smaller surface space loader, and the large six-wheeler was designed by Samuel Taki. The set has the uniform space design with the triangle and space banner on the side and the stars in the background. On the front, we see the machine in action over the surface of a planet. There's much more on the back of the box. Here's a rear view of the spaceship. Then we have smaller images to demonstrate the many features, and here you can see the piece that links several spaces together, even across themes. Let's open the box. The set has 1365 pieces, the price is €100 or $110, and it is already available. You can find all local prices at the link below in the description and in the pinned comment. We have 10 numbered bags, a large unnumbered one with many pieces, and an envelope. Let's see what we have here. This new glued envelope is sometimes quite a challenge to open. Okay, we have the manual inside. Oh wow, such a small sticker sheet, but wait. Okay, now this is a massive sticker sheet, even bigger than the manual itself. Wow, that's something. The manual is pretty thick, but it doesn't contain any more information than what we saw on the box. Here's the parts list if you are interested. Now let's start building. So, the story begins with these loosely connected frames here. Extending it with more parts, this section still slides on the axle. Here's a rather strange contraption. It gets pretty complex fairly quickly, and then we need to attach it to the previous assembly. This is what we built in bag 1. I guess we need to add more things for all these to make sense. In phase 2, we will extend the build with these big frames and add the linkage that we can use to deploy the leg. Time to use our brand new knob gears. There was a little confusion with the preview video. The knob gear itself is not new, but it is a new type with the cross-axle hole in it rotated 45 degrees. The reason for this is that you can have two meshing gears in the same phase with the cross-axles parallel to each other. Otherwise, if you have two identical gears, one of the axles will be rotated 45 degrees. So that was bag 2. Here is one of the engines. It has some pretty cool details. Another one was added and also the top cover, end of phase 3. This bag has even more linkages, namely the grabber that is operated by the red lever at the top and the sliding assembly we added at the beginning. It's pretty cool. For some strange reason I also had to add googly eyes here, maybe to scare away aliens. It's time to mount the legs to the sides. Make sure they are both in the same position before you attach them. This is how they work together, pretty cool. Phase 4 completed. I didn't really expect the heavy-duty CV joints to show up in this set. They will play a role in the side engine rotation. The structure is reinforced, and I'm surprised to see such large panel fairings without stickers. But they were only on the underside. The top will be completely covered, no worries. Make sure to mount the two engines in the same position. In phase 6, we added a lot of body panels to the sides. We built the cool internals of the engines with parts from bag 7. In the next phase, we add these funky stabilizers to the rear and also build the engine covers. It's time to build a cabin, which will hang from this central beam. We add the bubble canopies, new in trans black, and then attach it to the main body. The last main item from bag 9 is this cover, and the ship is finished. But there is one more bag left. We still have this cargo box to complete. Here is the airlock piece highlighted on the box. The very last item will be the small rover. It also has the new knob gear for the steering. A few more parts, then the rover is complete. Now we are done. So, here are all our builds, and I have to say, this spaceship looks amazing and it's impressively big too. Here is a similar but also very different set, the Dune Ornithopter. The size is very comparable. And here's a rare classic that many people would love to have in their collection, the Osprey, which isn't much bigger either. I really like the look. The choice of these A-frames as a structural element was a good decision. They really look like the cargo spaceships from the movies. We have tons of stickers with patterns and details, but if you don't like them, you can leave them off. That's their advantage over printed elements. The top view reveals the large gap, but it's necessary for the controls. Speaking of which, let's see the functions. The best one is definitely the way we can fly this thing, and oh man, this is the swooshiest things in years. You can hold the spaceship comfortably and all the controls can be operated with your thumb. The ergonomics are fantastic. The orientation of the thrusters is controlled by the blue gears. They rotate freely, there is no fixed position, you can turn them around completely. The covers of the engines can be opened on the side so that you can see all the internal structures. The black gears are used to control the landing gear. It locks into place when it is fully extended, but there is no fixed position at the other end. When I built the set, it was a bit tighter, I think, because I could keep them in position if I didn't fly around too much, but now they are slowly but surely lowering themselves. You can of course prevent this by holding the black gear, but it would have been better if there was a fixed position at this end as well. The third function you can access here is the hook control, which is operated with this red piece. That one locks in the retracted position and can be extended with a small push. We have two hooks to pick up the cargo box. We can fly around like this or lift and lock the cargo if we want to. Unfortunately, you can't land with the cargo box. The legs aren't long enough, you have to drop it first. The eyes on the front still look funny, with huge jaws looking for something to eat. And finally, we have the cockpit with a very cool trick. Since it hangs from the single beam I showed you during the build, it levels itself thanks to the weight of the whole assembly. This looks fantastic in flight, but if we take a closer look at this area, there are some flaws here too. Firstly, there is no mechanism to access the seats. You can detach the system parts, but you can't really call it a feature, and it's not that easy to do. Then we have the seats, and these are the normal blue Technic panels without any stud attachment points. Why would we need them in a Technic set? Well, the whole 2024 space campaign emphasizes cross-team playability with City, friends and even others, and we have minifigures in those. Can you fit a minifigure in here? Well, an astronaut with the air tank certainly doesn't fit, maybe without it. Yeah, let's say he kind of fits, but still looks a bit weird. The good thing is that no studs are needed to hold the figure in place. Another mystery of the cockpit is the blank screen on the other side. We had this massive sticker sheet and there was no room for another one. Very strange. Now let's have a look at the rover and the cargo box. Steering the rover is a bit tricky, you need a bit of practice to navigate it. It's a challenge to follow a straight line. Both ends of the box can be opened and we can park the rover in it with the antenna down. This is a nice additional play feature. We can take the box with the rover to an unknown planet and explore it. The magic airlock can be found on the container, so theoretically we can also connect other space sets here, but you have to use a lot of imagination in this case because there's a solid panel behind the airlock. Okay, we have a sticker representing the door, but that's it. Both this and the design of the cockpit shows me that adding the compatible parts alone doesn't necessarily make a set truly playable with others, but I will dedicate a separate video to this topic later. Now for the price. The set costs €100 or $110 and it has 1365 pieces. That doesn't sound bad, and it gets even better when you go through the inventory of the set and look at how many different large panels and other useful parts you get for that amount. The price per piece ratio isn't as useful for comparison these days, but if you look at the price to weight ratio and compare it to the Perseverance for example, which costs €95 or $100, the weight of this set is 888 grams and the spaceship is 1215 grams, which is 27% more. All in all, despite the minor flaws I showed you, I still think this is one of the most playable LEGO Technic sets in recent years, and for this price you get tons of useful parts and a lot of fun. This package is very hard to beat. And remember, that's just the recommended retail price on LEGO.com. In Europe you can get it for as low as €75 already. If you want something similar to the Osprey, but without the hefty price tag on eBay, this is the way to go. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications because more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.